Thank you. That was definitely kind of a deep thought. But actually, it's kind of a sensible thought. Why not? Now, please welcome the first speech of the meeting. But before that, we'll have the first evaluator of the first speech, who is Bob Avalone, and he will please describe the objectives for the icebreaker speech.
Thank you, Brandon. This is Mike's first speech with our group. The title of the speech will be "The Present Has Always Been Now," and his objectives are to speak clearly and concisely about 2 or 3 instances of living momentarily as a child, to identify areas in which he is lacking, and he includes fill, speech, vocal variety, etc., and to present skills I use to live in the moment.
Okay, would you please, Johnny, would you please demonstrate the timer cards for Mike, because it is his first speech and it's formal, so he understands exact.
Just explain to Mike what you're going to be doing. It's his first
With
one.
his 4 to 6 minutes, please demonstrate the cards for them.
Okay, so basically on the schedule we have the number for the time. So the first one means
She's going to 4 to 6. 4 to 6.
So that's 4 is green, right?
yeah, 4 is green, and so 6 is red, and yellow is middle.
And what happens after red, Johnny?
I will.
30 seconds.
I will.
Please hold up the green and the yellow for at least a full minute.
Hold up the card.
I want to a full minute so that he knows he's still on that card.
Yeah, Brendan explained he gets 30 seconds.
And it's 30 seconds after the red card.
Okay.
So please welcome Mike. I'm gonna get my name card.
Mike.
Give Mike the mic.
So I'm going to start with a quote, because I was always taught that when writing a paper or presentation, utilize someone who's a lot smarter. So the present moment is all you have. There is never a time when life is not this moment. That's from Eckhart Tolle. Is anyone familiar?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I figured as such. So for me, and I'll probably say and it's actually kind of funny because I was reading about how when you're in the present and you learn to stay in the present and learn what that actually means, you can actually stop yourself. That's a big part of speaking. So for me, I'm a hardcore punk kid. Does anyone know what that means? Punk rock, I'm sure you've all heard of it. The Clash, the Ramones, that's the beginning. They're the origin. For me, I'm a little bit more extreme. I actually have a book here that details the beginnings of American hardcore that started in 1979. One of the first bands was a band called the Bad Brains from Washington, D.C. They were an all-black punk band that were essentially King Crimson talented, but played punk. And this energy, if you watch old videos of them, it's just eye-opening. So for me, I've always known how to live in the present. I just wasn't aware of it. So I would go to shows. My brother would take me to shows. And actually the first show I ever went to was at the Rat. Anyone familiar with the Rat? The Rat was a wonderfully clean establishment. There was no danger going there whatsoever. So my brother had to babysit me one time. I was 8 years old, so I went to this show. And I saw these bands, I saw these people stage diving. I saw these people moshing and dancing and all this, that, and the other. And I was just in absolute awe. And I was hooked. I was hooked. 8 years old. I've been going to shows. I'm 36 now, so I've been going to shows for 28-something years. Now, obviously not totally 28 because I became friends. When I lost sight of the moment, I quickly became friends with the Department of Corrections. As well as I said last week, some things pertaining to alcohol and drugs. Those things take me out of the moment. I think they keep me in the moment. Well, what really always kept me in the moment was music. It still does. When I stepped into recovery, it actually gave me even more this surge of energy. Each time I listen to a band, I go to a show, I see a younger kid who feels the exact same way that I did. There's like a hopelessness when you first walk into a show alone, because you're like, oh my God, what am I doing here? There's guys my size, tattooed, face tattoos. Everyone looks so frightening. But in reality, it's one of the most welcoming spaces I've ever encountered in my life. And it saved me in a lot of ways. My brother Sean was the one who introduced me to bands who were so kindly named Suicidal Tendencies, Negative Approach, Agnostic Front, Sheer Terror. Still some of my favorite bands, by the way. I'm 36, going on about 9, approximately. And I will never forget that. And so I pass that on. Any chance I get, one of my favorite things to do is to be in a show and see a young kid and talk to him and ask him what his experience is like. Because it's different, it changes, it evolves. Sometimes it regresses, but it always keeps me right where I need to be, right now. As a child, that's what I lost when I tried to move, what I thought was moving forward in all these other directions. But I found my place with people. I got into hardcore because, in reality, I was a total misanthrope. I did not like people. I was not a fan of you. I was not a fan of people because I was afraid of you. It wasn't because I didn't actually like you. It was because I didn't know how to walk up to you and shake your hand or, talk to you. But what I found was that when I actually learned how, it's not so hard. It's just a process of willingness. And that's what this scene taught me. It's more than music to me. It's more than just a band, a show, a tattoo. It's more than that. It's an attitude which I can carry to the world. I can take what I get within a show and carry that positivity to the world, to somebody else who has no idea what it is I'm talking about. I think we can all relate to that. And that's what I love about this, is that I can get up, I could talk about this stuff for an entire week. I could do a seminar right now on the origins of this music I love and all the other music I love, because I have a total obsession with it. But I love it. So thank you. I'm very happy to be here. I'm sure I said so, and whatnot plenty of times.
Mike Berkering.